Hey guys, welcome back to AlgoYogi. We are doing array and hashing series, and our next problem in the list is replace elements with greatest element on right side. So let's go to LeetCode and go through it. Given an array called ar, replace every element in that array with the greatest element among the elements to its right, and replace the last element with -1 because that element doesn't have anything to its right. So let's say here 1 doesn't have anything to its right, so that is why we'll be placing -1 right here. Alright, so let's change the view and understand what the problem is asking us. We are given an array. We are given an array. This is our array. Now we have to return a result array which will contain for each of these elements. So let's say I will create my result array, which is going to be the same length just like this array, and for each element we will be having for that element the greatest element to their right. So let's say for 17, what is the greatest element towards its right? So if you go see all the elements towards right of 17, then you see 18 is the largest element, so that is why this will have 18 right here. Then for 18, what is the largest element to its right? So for this 18, so this is done. For 18, what is the largest elements in this section? The largest element is 6, right? So this will have 6 right here. Then what is the largest element to the right of 5? So among these, it's still 6, right? Then how about 4? For 4, what is the largest elements between 6 and 1? This is 6 again. Then what is the largest element for 6 to its right? So if you see, it's only one element, so that is 1. So that is why it's 1. How about 1? Well, it's -1. That is it. Very simple, right? It's really simple. So the brute force approach to do that comes to my mind is, how about for each element? So let me just get rid of this. How about for each of these elements, I check the entire remaining array to its right. So let's say for 17, I will check the entire array to its right to check what is the largest element, and then that's what I will fill in here. So 18, and then for 18 I will do the remaining array, that will be 6, and then for 5 I will do the remaining array. So that will be basically give us the time complexity of big of n and square. All right, so that will give us the time complexity of big of n square. You can see it for each element. We are visiting another the entire array except that element to find the greatest element towards its right. So usually the way you calculate it, you're like reducing the length. You go over the n-1 array, and then you go over the n-2 array, for each element. But still, that will be of solution n+1, something like that, by 2, which again gives you n square time complexity. So you can safely say that it will give you a time complexity of big of n square, right? So that is not what we want. We can have a simple approach. Instead of visiting these elements to calculate the largest element on right, how about we visit this array from right to left? This is how we can visit. So if we do that to calculate our result array, initially what I'll do is I will have something, some, let's say, largest number to right. Let's say initially I'll have -1. Then for this position, for basically 1, I'm iterating my array from left to right, so from the back to the front. So for this one, what I'll do is I will actually place the largest num to its position, so -1, and then next time this largest number to the right, I will have maximum. I will update it with max of itself, so largest num and the number that I'm just seeing. So let's say if I was using I, so then ar at I, so that I'm updating this largest number next time for the this element. So next time this largest number, initially -1, will become 1 now, right? It will become 1 because now it's seeing 1 right here. So for 6, I will place 1, and then it will get updated to 6 because 6 is greater than 1, and that's how we will basically go from left to right, and we will fill these with, actually, you know, for 4 it is, again for 6, 5 it's 6, for 18 it is 6, and then for 17 it's 18. So that's how we can do it, and this brings our time complexity to big of n, and there is no space complexity. Well, that was not also an brute force approach, but still. So this is great if you just think you want to visit this array from left to right and just keep updating the maximum element that you have seen so far. So isn't that great? This is great, right? So let's change the view and code up our solution. Awesome. So as I said, we'll have largest num, let's say 2 to right. Initially we're gonna call it -1. Then for I in range, we want to start at the back of the array. So length of r -1, that's the last index because index start at 0. Then we want to visit until 0, so we'll say it will exclude 0, it will go up to 0 at 0th index, and then this is the direction that we want to go. So here at my r, should I update this? Given an array, replace every element in the array with the greatest element to the, yes, so I will be replacing this. All right, I want to replace this. So I'm not return the array. Okay, I will return the array in the problem that they have asked. So we are replacing this. We are not creating the result array. We are replacing it. So sorry about that. Like in my conceptual part, I said like we're creating a new array. So here what I'll do is I will say current num is I can say r at I. Now I will at my r I can update it simply with my largest num to right here, and then this largest num to right I will update with the maximum of cur num or itself, and then finally I can just return the same array. All right, we are doing it in place. So let me zoom out. Yes, and run this. Great. So let's submit. I hope it's 100%, not 100%, but equally good. इसमें भी कोई कमी नहीं है. So time complexity is going to be big of n, because you are visiting all the elements just once, hence space complexity is going to be big of 1 constant. So just remember that you save this element before you update it. Okay, before you update it, otherwise you will overwrite the ith element with the largest number, which -1, and everything will be filled with a -1. That's not what you want. You want to basically save this number so that later you can update this largest number to right. Okay, I hope you'll understand it. So go back to AlgoYogi, mark this solved, and see you guys later in the next problem. Until then, bye bye.